Hi, my name is Katie, and I would like to welcome you to the very extreme basics of Inkscape. My website is SewingScene.com, and I do a lot of sewing, embroidery design, uh, design graphics for Silhouette, Cameo, Cricut cutters, etc. And I've run across this software quite a while back, and right now it's to the point where it's very comparable to CorelDRAW and Illustrator. And I know some of you are under a budget and you can't necessarily, shell out several $100s for a new piece of software. So I want to introduce you to this piece of software and continue on with some real, very, very basic tutorials to help you get through your process and hopefully get you excited about designing your own artwork for your embroidery designs or for your cutting machines and just general artwork and understand better what a vector graphic is and such. First of all, Inkscape is a vector drawing program, and in a nutshell, what that means is everything that is on the screen is not put in pixels like a normal JPEG file or a BMP file that you would use, something that would pixelate as you increase the size or decrease the size of an image. A vector file is an image that lets you size and scale that image and let the computer mathematically redraw that image. So you're limitless on the size of the graphic that you want to use. This is actually really optimal for those that want to do embroidery designs because you can actually now create artwork for the size of your hoop, or you can create your artwork and lay it out for your 12 by 12 inch cutting mat, for example. And it makes it easy to actually see what the output is going to be like. Inkscape, as you can see here, is a real basic workspace. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where I get Inkscape. Inkscape is a free program, and you can actually obtain that by going to inkscape.org. And it is what they call an open source program. That means it's always constantly being updated by programmers that just absolutely love doing what they do. And the source is available, source code is available to other people so they can actually go in and contribute their 2 cents worth to make it even a better program. And the fact that it's free really gets me excited, and that gets me excited for my followers that want to go ahead and get more excited about drawing their artwork. I know when I travel and I teach and give seminars, one of the things I get asked about is how do you create your artwork, or what can I use to create your artwork? And a lot of times it would prohibit people from coming to my classes because they couldn't afford the Adobe Illustrator package, or they couldn't afford the CorelDRAW software package that I was using at that time. And now you can do my pattern creations. I can do like I said, my cutting drawings, and I can actually create my artwork for my embroidery designs to import a lot cleaner, better artwork for my embroidery software. And again, that's at inkscape.org. And what you would want to do is go to the download menu. And once you click on download, it will take you to a screen that allows you to download for your Windows operating system or for your Apple operating system. I'm going to be concentrating mostly on Windows because that's what I'm using, but they're so close. There may be a couple keystrokes that might be different, and that would be consistent with other applications that you might use. So if I, for example, have you press the Control key in Windows, that's usually the Command key in the Apple Mac environment. So what you would do then is click on the Windows or Apple download that software to your computer and go ahead and just take the defaults and install that on your system. This software is consistently updated updated and upgraded with new features. And if we scroll down the page here, you will see that they will have a list of the important bug fixes that they did from the previous versions, etc. So you're always up to date on the software. The next thing we want to do is talk about general setup of Inkscape. Once Inkscape is installed on your system, what you want to do is go ahead and open it up, and your screen will look very, very similar to this, right? And there's some things that I personally like to have on my screen when I'm working with Inkscape. So it's just a little bit easier, and it's similar to other applications that I've used. So to me, it's a lot easier to find the tools. So let's talk about the general setup. First of all, I have, when I initially started, you may find that one of your toolbars, the main toolbar, is over here on the right. And I'm used to having all my toolbars across the top of the screen, right? So to get that toolbar from the right to the top, what you'll want to do is go into your View menu and then click on Custom. When you select Custom, what it did is it moved that toolbar from the right of your screen and placed it here at the top. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and show you that when you open up your screen, you will have a document, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, basically in your workspace, in the center of your workspace so that you can start drawing. And up here on the third toolbar down below, you can actually set your measurements to be different. So whether it's millimeters, picas, points, inches, centimeters, pixels, or percentages, that will change throughout the document. So for example, if I'm going to be creating an embroidery design, a lot of times the embroidery designs that I want to create are for hoops that are in millimeters. So if I change this to millimeters, I can then change my sheet of paper to be the size of the hoop that I want to be working with by adjusting the width and the height of my hoop by putting those numbers in here. And this will be talked about later in a more focused video. So I'm just kind of giving you a general setup at this point. Okay, so we'll take the millimeters, go ahead and click on millimeters, and then at that point this will always be a millimeter setting. If you're going to go ahead and draw some artwork for your cutting machine, you might want to go ahead and set it to inches and then change your width and height of this document to be 12 by 12 so you know exactly how much room you have on your mat for cutting. All right? To get started, what I'd like to do is go ahead and also show you how to remove this. So if you just want to go ahead and do some free drawing and size it later, because again, the vector graphic allows you to scale designs large and small, and this window or this sheet of paper document here is distracting to you, you can very easily go up to the File menu and then click Document Properties, and a window will pop up. And that window, let me pull that over here from my other screen. This window allows you to actually turn this Show Page Border option off. So when I uncheck that and I close this window, now there is nothing here to distract me from what I'm drawing. Another thing I like to do is I like to go to the View menu, and underneath underneath Zoom, if I go to Zoom 1:1, it will set the screen. So if I draw a 1-inch circle, that will be a 1-inch, very similar on the screen. So we have an actual 1:1 ratio of our drawing. And then the third thing I like to do for general setup is to set up my properties area. So every time I bring something up on the screen, every object that I click on is going to have properties, or I want to manipulate those items that I have on the screen. And what I like to have open is my properties windows over here on the right. Currently there aren't any. But if you go to the toolbar, at the very top of the toolbar, next to the text tool here, there is a button that says Edit Objects, Colors, Gradients, Arrowheads, and Other Fill Color Stroke Properties. I like to have that one open all the time because that allows me to assist in modifying the colors of my objects. And when I click on that object, you can see that the Properties window here has been opened up. The second window I like to have open is my Alignment and Distribute Objects Properties button. So I click on that, and that will actually open this properties area. So I have my fill strokes here for my colors, and I have my align and distribute right here. And this lets me align objects on top of each other. So for example, if I was going to draw a snowman, very basically, and I wanted the circles to be aligned through the center vertical line, I would select those objects and then be able to click on center vertical axis, and very quickly my objects will be aligned. We're going to start doing some tutorials on Inkscape, which allows you to draw your own artwork and create some fun projects for either embroidery, if you want to do some digitizing, artwork for your electronic cutters, and just some basic fun stuff with text and stuff so that you can get familiar with what vector graphics are and how fun they can be. So stay tuned for some more stuff, and for more information you can visit my website SewingScene.com and sign up for the newsletter, and you will be notified of new videos that come out, and I'd love to hear from you. And again, my name is Katie from SewingScene.com.